film that board too, or if my coat's going to get in the way, because that's okay. It'll cover it. It's high enough. So what's that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So is this class, because this is my first time seeing you in person. I had you for online last semester. I'm Farrah Jones.
Yeah, for intro?
Yes.
Right, yep.
So is the in-person class going to be more note-taking? Is it going to be more?
I would say, so if you had me an intro, do we do the same thing with the live video last semester? And some people like it in person better because you can ask the question live, which I guess you can do on this, the chat, but it's just not the same. So some people prefer to come into the classroom, and it will be similar. Mainly that like there's a discussion every week since it is like half online and half in person. And then there'll be like, there's only a few major assignments. So the genogram and the eco map, those kind of go together. Then there is a presentation, and that's in the syllabus, but most people like to, like, if you got into social work for doing addiction recovery, so to speak, or if you got into, you want to start your own private practice, which is where I'm going to now. People want to do a presentation on what they're most excited about social work to do. And I'm okay with you writing your final paper on that too. So say you do a PowerPoint on depression or anxiety or addictions or poverty or even Medicare, Medicaid. And then your large final paper is also another, like in graduate school, we do the same research all the way through, you know, like I did research on refugee resettlement and whatnot. So you hopefully become an expert in that area. And so essentially, I still will put all the PowerPoints up into here. You know, it's not totally mandatory to come all the time, but some people prefer it. So it's entirely up to you. And hello, how are y'all? How's it going? Good. So does that answer your question? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's mostly discussion boards every week, and then these 3 major assignments. So it's not impossible, but we'll get into a lot of the theories and stuff like that. So anyway, I just like to get you guys, is everybody here a sophomore though, I guess? Or you guys, are you going to be a freshman? Or okay, cool. That is okay. I think you can take this class at any level. So what did you all take last semester?
I took, what did I take?
Intro maybe, and then.
Yeah, it was definitely intro. So.
Okay. Trying to see how these markers wanna, okay, there we go. That one goes that way. Hopefully they still work. The blue one looks like it works. So you got 15 hours at least? You're at 15 done? 5 classes complete? Okay, cool. And you guys are all social work majors, it sounds like. Sweet. Okay, good. Good to hear. Well, I wish somebody told me to be a social work major when I was your age, because it would have saved me like 4 years of graduate school. For real. But nobody did, and I was a psychology major, and I feel like I wasted a lot of my time. And here's why. As a BSW, which you're all studying to become a BSW, if you finish with your bachelor's in social work here, we are accredited through the CSWE, which is the Council on Social Work Education. You will qualify for a 1-year master's degree, which is amazing. I took like 3 years to get my master's in social work at University of Kentucky, 67 credit hours. You guys will be able to do it in like 35. And then can get your license. If you don't want to go to grad school, you still can do bachelor's of social work and then your license in social work. Nobody told me that. I was always pushed to do psychology classes, and you know, I wish they had at least said, well, do a double major, you know, because after I lived in El Salvador and Nicaragua and working down in Latin America, I was like, I really want to put this psychology to practice. And that's kind of what I did by working and living in over the Rhine, Cincinnati, and then doing a lot of work at Claremont Recovery Center after that. So you guys want to introduce yourselves? Like if that's
You want me to go first?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
My name is Asia Maisha, and I'm from Shakira Hester, I'm a sophomore from Ohio. Social work.
Oh yeah, and then what do you guys want to do with the social work major? That's the other thing.
Clinical therapy.
Which kind?
Clinical therapy.
Okay, cool. Like a private practice, maybe?
Yeah. I'm second with my high school, so I was going to become a guidance counselor.
Awesome. So you might want to do your master's in social work, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to do clinical. And then do you know if your high school requires a master's for the counselors, or would you? Okay, so same for you. And then, okay, go ahead.
My name is Farrah Jones. I'm a sophomore. My major is social work.
Mm-hmm.
And with my major, I want to be like a guidance counselor,
Mm-hmm.
high school social worker.
Awesome. So 2 sophomores and 1 freshman, or 2 freshmen and 1 sophomore? Sophomore.
2 sophomores.
Cool. Okay, awesome. Well, my name is Dr. Jonathan Trouth. I did my bachelor's actually in psychology. I did a master's in social work and then an MA in theology and pastoral counseling, which got me interested in doing the doctorate in counseling and like teaching. I've been teaching about 11 years. I've been teaching full-time for 5, going on 6 years, and I've practiced social work for about 20. I shouldn't feel old, but I feel old, and I had my first baby boy, girl last summer, and we're having our first baby boy this summer in May. So I'll be 43 for that guy to come, and I get to be 61 when he finishes high school. It'll be like, what? But that's kind of what's going on. I took on a couple extra classes, so if you guys are in like our, gosh, what's the name of it? Social welfare?
Yep, I had that class.
Yeah, I had that class.
So I have 6 classes this semester instead of just 4. So, again, everything will be filmed on YouTube Live, just so that there's like a cache you can go back and look at it. Discussion board every week, and then there's a few major assignments. So if you wanted the syllabus, I wonder if this thing's a touch screen. I doubt it, but let me try. Nope. So you can click on it and download it there. Usually, oh yeah, this is everything we did last semester, so you can get an idea of like what it would look like. Usually the genogram first, and then the eco map. This has all the PowerPoints, which is awesome. And I use the same book as Dr. Allen, so there's 2 parts of this class. I'm the first half. We get up to about adulthood. She's the second half, and she does a lot more of the theories, which is a scary word to a lot of us. Even in graduate school, I was afraid of the word theory. I'm like, what the heck is a theory? Well, what helps me to remember a lot is that like when you're learning it in school, we are learning how to bring theory to practice. So the theory is like how we're going to help somebody, or like why somebody turns out the way they do. And then when I practice, it's like, what's the best way to serve this person? So we're going from theory in school and education to practicing, and like how we're going to do addiction recovery, how we're going to do individual counseling, family counseling. I currently also take up hours on the weekend at hospice. So are any of you familiar with hospice? It's end of life care. So like my grandma had to go when she had cancer and passed. So if you're diagnosed with like 6 months or less, you get extra care paid through Medicare and Medicaid, and like somebody really to really just serve and be with people as they pass on to the afterlife, so to speak. So it's kind of like a spiritual social work in a sense. I sit, just like once or twice a month on a Saturday, I'm on call from like 8 to 8. And usually they want you from like midnight until 8 a.m. as that's the hardest time to fill. But sitting, documenting as they're, hopefully the family's there with them, but sometimes not everybody has family when they pass. So that's another social work job option. Yeah, these are all the discussions we did, and really just like a discussion every week, and then a few major assignments. So today, as with most days, so I do cover just the minimum hours at a private practice. I go in Lebanon 4 hours on Monday in the evening. I have 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, and 6:30 appointments, and then on Wednesday I have 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, and 12:30. So that means if I leave there at 1:30, I'll get here like just at 2 on Wednesday, but I'll always be up here and then be kind of rushing out on Mondays and then rushing in on Wednesdays. And then Friday is kind of chill. Like I don't have as much going on. What other classes are you guys taking?
They got me a physical science.
Uh-oh. That sounds scary.
That sounds very.
Is that like looking at the bugs or the leaf and then?
No, it's like distance, velocity, all that speed.
Really?
Yeah.
E=mc squared.
All that.
Uh-oh. I'd be scared. That's why I'm a social worker.
I have psychology. I have environmental science. I have American National Government. I'm missing something. Global history.
Okay.
And that's it. But I have 3 online classes, so I only have 2 in person.
Okay.
This one and another one.
Right. Yeah.
They got me a physical science, sociology, social welfare.
Sociology's online, right? With
Yeah.
what, Genevieve?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. She's awesome.
Human behavior, and then educational psychology.
Oh, wow.
I like that course.
They have a full-on master's and a doctorate.
That's what's really good. I like that course.
So I taught at Miami University a few years ago, and they have a master's in educational psych and a doctorate. It's like a combined program. Yeah, I know. I still think being a social worker is better, but
Yeah.
they do have that program, and people like it. I think you have more job opportunities in social work.
Yeah.
I feel like in ed psych, there's not as many, but that's because social workers can work in every possible field. And then do you have a few like
I'm in critical thinking, human behavior and social environment, and then I'm in English, college writing, intro to writing for college.
Okay.
I'm in introduction to psych, and then social service and issues for older adults.
Oh, right. Okay. That's a good one too. They may talk about hospice.
Right.
What'd you say?
Most of those classes.
You already took them?
I took critical thinking. I took intro to writing.
Oh yeah, who's your professor for English? English. Nate Fitzgerald's.
Awesome. So it's and you guys are all on pace.
Yeah.
Like, see, I took 5.5 years in college, so you're probably better than I am to only take. I did 2 majors, but I should have just done 1, social work, and out. But I ended up doing theology and psychology. Took way too long and too many loans. That's the problem. So anyway, we're doing introductions if you wanted to introduce.
Sorry.
That's okay.
My name is Tommy Yara, but I like being called Tommy. I'm a sophomore. My major is social work with a minor of business administration. I'm from Los Angeles, but I live in Las Vegas.
Oh, really? I used to live out there.
Really?
Yep.
So how's the weather here for you?
It's a little cold.
So how do you like the weather here then?
I like it, but then I don't.
You'll like it in the spring again. It'll feel like California in the spring.
It's the same thing, but
Yeah, I lived in, I went out west because I got a scholarship to a law school. And I would go to Bear Mountain all the time to find the snow. Yeah, it was so in Los Angeles, you can like surf in the morning, and I went up to the top of the mountain and you can snowboard at night. So I always liked snowboarding because I was the winter city boy from Cincinnati. So cool. Well, welcome. What would you like to do with your social work degree? That's the other fun question.
I don't know. That's hard.
Uh-huh.
I know I want to work with kids.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to be like a school,
Mm-hmm.
the one that comes out to the house.
Home visits.
But I don't want to be the one that comes out to the house because people think like the social workers that come out the house, they're going to take the kids. And it's not right.
That's true.
Parents, not all parents, but some parents like beat their kids and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they make it seem like they teach their child like, when a social worker comes, tell them you're okay, tell them you're fine. And it's like the social worker is going based off the kids instead of the household. Like you'll see a child sleeping on the floor, you'll see this, and the child's going to tell you, "Oh, I'm okay," but you know you're not okay because you have to go off the child.
Right. Yeah. So I would do a lot of the work that was on the other end. So after the kids were taken, I worked at Lighthouse Youth Services, and we did like family counseling and therapeutic foster care, hoping mom or dad went to rehab and got better, and we replaced the kids with a family. Yeah.
I was thinking about I'm Sarah. Hi. I was thinking about like doing like DCFS and stuff because first my major was sociology. And then I changed my major to social work. And I wanted to work for DCFS at the same time. I don't know if I'm emotionally ready for that because that's a lot going on every single day.
Yeah.
And so
right.
I was going to be a high school social worker.
Okay. Which you could do a little bit of that there too. So that's that's always an option. The cool part is in this class we'll go from like conception to pregnancy, birth, early childhood, adolescence, up to adulthood. So like the full span. And today I was actually going to introduce these first two assignments. They're not due until February 1st and February 5th, but for real, that's like faster. Actually, I think that might be next week. Yeah. So it sounds like it's way down the road, but it is next week. And the reason why we do these, like every social worker, I had to learn how to do them. I like it because it also is about ourselves. So with the genogram and the eco map, and I will be finishing prompt because, like I said, I have to get out right at 2:50 and drive down to the private practice. So we should be done here in a minute, and we'll get into more of the PowerPoints next week after we do this. So I'm starting to write up the genogram and eco map. And actually, go ahead and introduce yourself. I'm sorry, I didn't.
My name is Andre. I'm from Chicago.
Awesome. What would you like to do with your major?
Become either homicide detective.
Awesome. They actually have social workers in the city of Cincinnati Department of Homicide. And a lot of our students, when I taught at UC and NKU, they would do their internship with the homicide department. So a lot of times I say, think about social work major too, because they give you a license and it's awesome. But it's so just an option there. Any questions so far from any of you guys? Are you all good? The genogram and eco map, you'll have questions, but I already started doing some of these. I guess I got to film it too, so people online can see before my computer dies. So this is the one that's due first. The reason why it is helpful is because you'll do this with like all of your social work clients. Heck, you might even, if you're doing stuff in the homicide department, it is possible, especially when working with the families and kind of getting the family history. So as a social worker, the genogram is almost like a family tree, but it has all of your like social work diagnosis, mental health diagnosis, family history of cancer, family history, like it's all about me too. So it's my mom and dad. On my mom's side, we got a ton of cancer. Both my grandma and grandpa died of it. Some mental illness, depression, bipolar, manic depression, and a few others. On my dad's side, they're all wonderful people, but these are the genetics we inherited. We've got good alcoholism genes. So like German and Irish, like to drink all winter and, work on the farm in the summer. I don't know. So that's kind of the stuff we're looking for, because that means I also inherit these genes and like pass them on to my kids. And when I'm working with a social work client, if we can go through some of this, it's a good intro, like what is your family history? It also sometimes tells traumas that you could have gone through, or they as growing up, if parents are separated or divorced, you can get as detailed. So like usually men are a square and women are a triangle. So like I've got 2 brothers and 2 sisters. Like one was born in 75. I was born in 1978. He was born in 80. My sister was born in 86. So like kind of detailing your family. Mom and dad were born in 45 and 47. So my dad's getting that coronavirus vaccine today. I'm like afraid of the vaccine because I see all this stuff on the internet, how it's killing people. But I know coronavirus is killing people too. So I told him not to get it. He told me to F off and he's going to go get it. He said, just say a prayer or something. I'm like, thanks, Dad. He's like 75, he's, he was April so he'll be like 76. And she was August. So you're going to write up your family history, and the details. On my dad's side, he also had a mom and a dad. Boy, imagine that. He had a mom and a dad. Say sorry, I can't talk right now. And then he also had, 4 sisters and a brother. So you start getting into big families, like sister, sister, sister. I think his youngest might have been a brother. 2 of them died of pancreatic cancer. So, and that was in like 2006 and 2009. So you're starting to get an idea of like the family of the client you're working with. And that's, as a social worker, it helps a lot because, again, you're kind of drawing a picture. My mom had 4 brothers and 3 sisters. So she was all stacked up Catholic. Like, they didn't stay 6 feet away during the pandemic. They're having babies every day. So maybe you guys have families like that. Also have a history of bipolar on this side. I don't know what year they were born in. And cancer, because he died of lung cancer. He fought in like World War II and all that. And then we usually do a few generations, so 3 or 4 is helpful. Now, actually, everybody had 2 girls, and the girls had 2 boys. So they're all like girl, boy, and then they got girl, boy. So I know this looks weird. There's like some YouTubes about how to do this too. I just had my first child, and then this dude's supposed to come in a few months. He's getting all like big and puffy in the stomach. And then he adopted 2. I don't know how to show adoption. So basically, this is like your first assignment. It's not due till the 1st, but that is next week. And like kind of detailing your family history. So it might require calling your mom or calling your dad, even calling your grandma. It's a good way to talk to them. Like, so when were you born? Who had alcoholism in the family? Who smoked? Had cancer? Hello, welcome. How are you? And that's kind of the gist of it. Is any of that making sense to you guys? Any questions about the genogram is almost like a big family tree with all the like good habits and bad habits. You could even put like if they went to school, what schools they finished at. Did they go all the way through grade school, high school, and college? Did some of them go to graduate school? Things like that. So like as detailed as you want. And again, when you're working with a client, it gives you stuff to talk about with the people, even as a homicide detective, like asking questions and getting to know the people. I had everyone introduced, so if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, not to put you on the spot, but go ahead.
I was so loud, I couldn't see the board, so I just came
Oh, that's a good idea. So it's like small as heck.
Mhm.
Maybe I should put it. Which there are some YouTube videos. Maybe this will cover the. That is hard to see. Sorry about that. See, that's why in person is definitely better. You can do it online, but so we're doing like a family tree, and it has. You're able to get here quick too. You're like, F that, I'm going to class. This is stupid. Was it like bad internet connection too, or like?
No, it was good. It was just.
The cord is way too small. Okay, that makes sense. So we also have a history of, this might be why we had pancreatic cancer. I don't even know how to spell it. And then alcoholism. So like documenting the addiction and, I don't think alcohol is good for your pancreas. I don't even know where your pancreas is. It's somewhere inside of you. It's a bad cancer that kills you in like 3 months. So both my dad's sister and his brother, and there's still these many left, and my dad gets checked like every 3 months or 6 months for pancreas. His pancreas gets scanned or something. So those are the fun things to look forward to. Both my brothers have something called hemochromatosis. I don't even know. It's iron overload, and I guess Fe stands for iron. So these dudes, both my brothers have to give blood every 3 months, but my sister doesn't because women release blood every month. So she's okay. Maybe now that she's 50, well, I should say this one. She's turning 50 next month. If you go through menopause, she might have to start bloodletting again. So iron overload can shut down your organs and things like that, like your heart, your probably liver and kidneys. And some people have too little iron, so you got to take pills for it, So anyway, getting all the details. I know that it starts getting confusing. You're like, what the heck is hemochromatosis and what is pancreatic cancer and what is alcoholism? The important part is getting the details and listening to your clients. And so the best way for us to do it is we write up ourselves first, like if anybody wanted to volunteer and go. So yeah, both my brothers have 2 girls. So that's all their grandchildren. They got 9 girls and just 2 boys right now. So then the third boy's coming in, May 5 of is it 01? No, it's 21, not 2001. See, I'm 20 years behind. 21, and she was 6 of 20. So anyway, any other things if you were doing this and like asking your clients questions that you guys would want to know or add or ask, like, so what's your family history? What's what are you here for? Maybe what they're coming to social work for. Let's say, I don't know why that says ego map there. If it's wrong, let me know. But this dude is kind of a dork, but he gives a good explanation of how to do the genogram. You can even download software. It's such a big thing in social work. They download software for it. But anyway, for people online. Sorry, people online. See, that's why you can't.
Genogram is a special type of family tree. A family tree will simply display ancestry information. However, a genogram will display additional information about the relationships of the individuals. Genograms are drawn using standardized symbols to help the viewer understand the relationships. The basic family symbols include a square for a male and a circle for a female. Genograms also include special symbols to indicate if children are twins or if a child is a biological child or adopted, in case that information is helpful. Genograms also may include information about the actual emotional relationships. There are symbols to indicate a wide range of emotions ranging from friendship to hate. Genograms may also be used for medical and genetic analysis by simply tagging individuals with particular traits. Let's look at an example that demonstrates this. We will use Star Wars and the Skywalker family as an example.
So this is where I get lost and why he's kind of a dork, but there's like, anybody here seen Star Wars before? Because now there's like 9 of them. I think I saw it like way back in the 1980s, but he gets a little dorky, but it's a good explanation of it. So
Let's
here's-
start by looking at Padme's family. Her father Rui, represented by a square, mother Jabal, represented by a circle. She also has an older sister named Sola. We know she's older because she is to the left.
Oh.
Let's get a bigger picture. We can see that Padme is in love with Anakin Skywalker, who is the son of Shmi Skywalker and the Force. Anakin and Padme have twins.
Have you guys ever heard of Darth Vader before? Okay. So that's kind of where that comes from. There's like the evil force and the good force, and they do like karate and the little sabers and stuff like that.
Luke
So
and Leia. However, Anakin does not know this and does not know about Leia. Luke is adopted by Owen Lars and Barry Whiteside. Owen turns out to be the son of Clea Lars, who married Anakin's mother after Owen's mother died.
So I'm already confused, but it just kind of shows how, like just start with yourself and get, if you got brothers and sisters, do your mom and dad and then their brothers and sisters and then grandparents on both sides is kind of the idea there.
On the other hand, Leia is adopted by Bail Presser Organa and Brea until she takes the Organa family name. Luke has a close violence relationship with his father. They fight every time they see each other. Luke is friends with Han Solo, who marries Leia, and have a child named Ben. Anakin, Luke, Leia, and Ben are strong carriers of midichlorians. We can see a pattern from which we could begin to theorize that this is a hereditary trait. As you can see, a genogram can provide a lot of information, and this is just the beginning. If you want to find out more information about genograms, follow the links in the description.
So some people download the software from this guy. You're welcome to do that online. I get confused with electronic stuff on the computer, so I would just like for real take. Some people use a poster board. You probably could fit, if you have a small family here, or go bigger and just like kind of detail again all of that stuff that they're kind of getting into. If you do want the software, it's on this video and down here. Like I think you can download it into Word. If you know how to do that type of stuff. Yeah, here's the symbols that and yeah, good explanation. So under the video, it kind of shows you got male, female, unknown gender, pet, that's our fur babies or whatever, adopted child, foster child, pregnancy, miscarriage, abortion, death, twins. So as much as you are comfortable putting on here, you don't have to put your like parents and grandparents' real names. If you wanted like confidentiality, that's okay. You can show like, if they had twins or triplets, and then all these symbols too. Dear Lord, that's a lot. So you can get as detailed if there's domestic violence or abuse and things, hostile environment, harmony or like friendship, in love. And then, as colorful as you get, like I don't expect you to spend $1 million on like poster boards and colors here, but you can. So you can get the pinks and the oranges and the blues and heart disease. And this is a common one, high blood pressure, cancer. So it really tells you a lot about the family, and is helpful to, this one is an individual turn-in assignment, so anything shared is kept confidential. I honor the social worker rule that like when I meet my clients at 3:30 this afternoon, I let them know everything they share is confidential, and we only have a duty report if you're a harm to self or harm to others. So that's kind of the breakdown of this. It looks kind of overwhelming at first, but as you get into the flow, you saw how quickly I was able to do that. I mean, you don't have to like spend years on doing it, but you can get super duper detailed if you want to cover those. Any questions about that part of it? Does it make any sense to you guys? It's a huge thing in social work. We did it 20 years ago at the University of Kentucky, and I remember thinking like, what in the heck is this? And I wish they had kind of broken it down that like this is a tool that we'll use with our clients that we see in the future. And like this is something that can tell you a whole lot about family history and like relationships and all of that stuff. So this one is a little bit more. Let's see if I can film it better too. My computer dies on me or not. You ever forget your charger and have your computer die? All the time. So this one is more about like how we spend our day and what we do all day with our energy. So this one is just you. So that circle represents you, and from Intro to Social Work, it's talking about like the ecosystems analysis, but like, so how many hours a day do you do school? How many hours a day do you do work? You might have, unless if you're from the West Coast, have family in there where you go home and visit family. How many people are from like local here where you can like go see your family today? Or Cincinnati even? Or Indianapolis? Who's the furthest away besides California? Chicago. Okay, all right. You do?
Chicago.
Is everybody from Chicago?
I'm from Ohio.
Which part of Ohio?
Like close to Detroit.
Oh, okay. Like Toledo then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or is there another one that I'm forgetting?
Bacon, probably.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool. And Chicago's still on super duper lockdown where you got to like.
No, we don't lockdown now.
Okay.
They're thinking about opening like restaurants.
All right. Thank God, right? I mean, that was a crazy winter. Like, wow. Okay. So maybe on like spring break, or do we not have a spring break this year again?
No.
So you get to Zoom your parents for the, hey mom, how you doing? Which is kind of what I'm doing. My parents are old, like 73 and 75. This year they'll be 74 and 76. My mom did get COVID too. Somehow she survived it. She got pretty sick and had to go to the hospital and got like, I guess IBS from it, something in the gastrointestinal, but she's okay. My dad's getting the vaccine today. He never caught it from my mom, but anybody else have a COVID experience?
Well, I don't have it, but everybody in my house had it besides me.
Seriously? In Chicago?
Yeah. My mama had it, my dad had it, my sister had it. But I don't know. My dad gave it to my mom, and then my mom gave it to my sister, but I didn't get it. I don't know how.
And they were okay with it, like.
Yeah.
Okay.
My mom was really the worst though, because she went to the hospital.
Oh. I mean, it's been great. So you had your freshman year where you guys got it all cut off. Like, go home now, see ya.
Yeah.
That's insane. Did any of you guys have me for Intro to Social Work a year ago at this time? Do you remember me talking about it when?
I don't remember you talking about it, but I remember like switching was hard.
Right. Yeah. Did you? So you had me a year ago, and I know that a lot of people are like, so I follow some of these guys online, and they're like, dude, there's this virus coming to the United States of America, and it's going to shut down America. So I was kind of talking to the students in February. It was like, just so you know, we might not be coming back after spring break because Ohio State just shut down. So that was crazy. I still wonder if there's something else going on with the economy that correlates to the virus. I don't know. So you might also have like church, like different pieces of the pie. And they'll, sometimes people draw it here and they show like if you've got good energy with school, maybe it's like an arrow, might be bad energy with work, like you want to quit your damn job, but you got to get paid, so you don't quit till you find another job type of thing. Might also have like challenging energy with the family. Church is like helpful to you. You might have like other stuff you do, like even exercise. Is there anything else you guys do like throughout the day that you would put on your like hourly, There's an app that does this for you, by the way.
So it's supposed to look like a clock.
It does kind of look like a clock. Different people do it different ways, but let's see how they show it here. I almost feel like I have the wrong directions in this one, but let me make sure. So there's something, you ever download apps? There's one called the Life Cycle app. It's free. So if you download Life Cycle, and it already has me, like it even shows how many hours I slept, 8 hours and 23 minutes last night. I drove for an hour and 20 minutes to come to work here today. I walked 34 minutes so far today. You know, so the Life Cycle app even shows you like, you know, the week or the month or the year, all of the activities where you're like spending your energy. And it's even helpful to me, like when I was a bad student my freshman and sophomore year, like I was failing out of school. I wish I had this because I could see that like all of that energy, probably like this much, is sleep. You know, the majority of that app is sleep. In undergrad, it was probably the opposite, where like I slept 2 hours a night, you know, like just kind of acting a fool, really. So I wish I had an app like this because it could have been like, hey, dude, maybe you want to spend as much time sleeping as you do partying or whatever else you want to do. So here's your eco map. I hope this is the right. So yeah, most people do it like in terms of a clock. Eco map. Maybe it's on. If you want to download the Genogram Pro, here's where you would download it too. That's interesting. I don't know if it will let me because this is our laptop from school. So anything else that you guys would do for, you know, throughout the day, like exercise, church, family, work, school, or like friends and family, you know, like having fun, you got to add leisure, friends and family. So it kind of tells you your energy throughout the day. That one's a little bit easier to do. It kind of helps identify our patterns throughout the day. Another thing you can use with your clients, like here's what we do all day and how we do it. I have no idea how to download and install this. So any questions about the Genogram or EcoMap? Because that's the first assignment, I wanted to start out with that. Interesting. Yeah, most people do like that circle in the middle and then.
In this video, we will explain how to make an eco-map. An eco-map is a diagram showing the social and personal
Sorry, online
relationships of
people.
an individual. As we make an eco-map, we put the parent or child in the center and visually display the key relationships they have. We talk with parents and children from a strength-based and person-centered perspective, forming a relationship in which we work together to empower the parent or child. The eco-map shows the important nurturing or conflict-laden connections between the family and the world. It demonstrates the flow of resources or lack thereof. As an assessment tool, an eco-map can be helpful in determining the family's strengths, resources, needs, and deficits. It helps the parents and children to understand the various systems with which they interact.
So this one's kind of like an assessment with if you are doing work with children and family, and it's showing some of the details. Maybe the child has a strained relationship with dad. So there are several different routes you can go with it. For us as college students, I like to have more of the energy we expound throughout the day. So
A good next question is, what groups, activities, or memberships do you hold or belong to? Michelle will then go into a long conversation that she is an activist and is a member of several activist groups and who she knows there.
I started that too late, sorry. And I saw, do you want to introduce yourself too? Because we were all doing a quick introduction, not to put you on the spot.
My name is Chantal.
Everybody is from Chicago in here today, for real. How many now? Is there 6 of you? Are you a social work major?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, and then what did you want to do with your social work major when you're finished? Okay. So like therapeutic foster care and whatnot. And this, So we're going through the first 2 assignments, and then there's the genogram, which has good instructions in Schoology, and the video and whatnot. And now we're on to the eco map. And these are due February 1st and February 5th. So I'll finish up this video and see if you guys had a question on it.
And add some empty circles to get it started. A good first question to ask is, who is important in your life? Michelle will tell you about her parents, sisters, and boyfriend. When we ask Michelle where she spends most of her time, she will tell you she spends most of her time at school. We can ask her who important teachers are and who she spends time with at school. She has a friend at school she also meets outside of school. A good next question is, what groups, activities, or memberships do you hold or belong to? Michelle will then go into a long conversation that she is an activist and is a member of several activist groups, and who she knows there, that she is a rock climber and who her favorite coach is and who her climbing friends are. She also tells you she goes to church and a church group, but she isn't close with anyone there. Since we cannot put in a person's name for her church activities, we just put church in the circle. This is a place she meets people and could possibly build on her support network. Asking Michelle about her neighbors, she'll tell you that she has a neighbor whom she could contact in case of emergency. Can the parent or youth you interview name an emergency contact? As a last question, we verify if the diagram is complete. Is there anyone missing? Are there any other groups or places you go to during the week? Michelle will tell you that she goes to vision therapy once a week to learn to focus better. Now we have identified whom Michelle spends time with. We'll review what questions we've asked to get here, and then we'll see how she relates to everyone. Here are some questions you may want to ask to build the eco map.
So when they put that frame into perspective, you can see why, as a social worker, this is a good assessment tool. Like, you'll get family history with the genogram and the family tree, and then with your questions, find out. She did a full week. I was saying during the day, you could do a day, a week, a month. And on this app I was mentioning, I forgot what it was called. So I'll tell you guys. It is called Life Cycle. It'll tell you like every little thing, it's tracking you essentially. And I'm like, they track us on our cell phones and everything we do and look at anyway. I'd just like to get that information back. So this will tell you, like how much time you spent in the cafeteria, how much at the gym, how much at the dorm or around here. And it kind of gives you a good reproduction of the energy we spend throughout the day and the week.
The next step is to explore the quality of these relationships. Relationships might be depicted as close or distant, strong or weak, one-sided or mutual. Michelle loves her parents and thickens the line between herself and her parents. The arrows point both ways as she receives and gives love. She also loves her sisters, her boyfriend, and other friends, and identifies these relationships as reciprocal. Michelle mainly receives energy from her rock climbing coach, her teacher in school, and her vision therapist. So the arrow points towards Michelle, but not the other way. Michelle and her school counselor argue a lot. This relationship is a strenuous one. We put stripes to show the relationship is taxing. The relationship with the neighbors is not very active, but it gives Michelle peace of mind to have someone to go to in case of a fire or other pressing things. The dashed line shows the relationship, although significant, is tenuous. If the parents or youth you interview give a lot of energy to everyone, but don't receive much back, there is not a balance, and it becomes draining. Or if the interviewee receives most of the energy, but is not giving much back, we can likewise be aware of the impacts this could have. As you can see, an eco map gives you a good overview of the dynamics of someone's relationships. It shows you what groups your individual belongs to, what support they have within each group, and where there is a possibility to grow the support network. It creates a meaningful dialogue between volunteer or caseworker and parent or child. Making an eco-map together will give you the opportunity to gain understanding of the family's social environment and evaluate connections together. We put a date.
So is this making sense for you guys? How you would detail all of those and kind of go throughout the day with the energy flow, things that are like draining to you, things that give energy back to you, like mom and dad, the sister. She did say like the coach and the teacher give her energy. So this is an important, same thing to think about. She probably pays her teacher and she pays her coach, I would guess. Like if you had a rock climbing coach, I don't think it would be free. So that's why she's able to just receive. Like she probably gives them money. So you're kind of documenting the energy exchange. Counselor challenges you, so that would make sense that it's a rocky relationship, like hopefully it's good enough, but it's like I hate her, or like the weak or strenuous relationship there. And then church would go both ways. And then the weak breakdown of the family. So it's just understanding how we spend our energy throughout the day is kind of the details. One more minute of it.
8 on the map. Over time, relationships will change. If we give Michelle strategies on how to work with her counselor and how to make friends at church, we have empowered her. And maybe next time we make an eco map with her, it will show. We hope you have enjoyed watching this video. We wish you success in learning more about the children and families you work with. Keep looking for how to reconnect the children with their relatives and other emotional supports. Remember that parents need support as well. Feel free to subscribe to my channel and watch other.
So any questions with that, the eco map or the genogram? These are the first two. I could have better explanations than this, because I feel like this is the old. Because the one we just did is a better video. All right. Well, cool. I'm glad you all are present in this crazy weather. I get to go drive real fast on the icy road down to Lebanon and hope I survive it, because that's my private practice at 3:30. It should be okay. And try to find lunch somewhere. Anywhere to buy lunch around here that's even like good? Frisch's has the veggie burger, but you got to like drive there, right? Nothing on campus, right? I'm guessing there's nothing on campus. I do all vegetarian, so like Frisch's or Burger King even has a veggie burger, which is weird. So, well, nice to meet y'all, and look forward to seeing you.